The entertainment industry thrives on glitz, glamour, and unexpected turns, but nothing could have prepared fans for the news that rippled across social media. Xiao Zhan left. The words were simple, but the weight they carried shattered millions of hearts in an instant. It wasn't just a departure. It wasn't just another rumor. It was a story unfolding with mystery, drama, and emotion so intense, they felt almost too real. The first whispers began in the early hours of the morning. A vague message appeared online, posted by someone who claimed to have seen Xiao Zhan walking away from something important. At first, no one paid attention. After all, rumors fly every day in the world of stardom. But then came the confirmation. Xiao Zhan was gone. And just like that, the internet erupted. What exactly did Xiao Zhan leave? Some speculated it was his current project. Others whispered that he had walked away from the industry entirely. And then there were those who believed something more personal, more intimate, had driven him to this choice. Whatever the truth was, one thing was certain: his departure wasn't ordinary. It had the markings of a grand story waiting to be told. Scenes of chaos followed. Fans crowded the airports, hoping to catch one last glimpse of him. Photographers camped outside studios, waiting for a statement that never came. Streets buzzed with speculation, and hashtags bearing his name soared to the top of global trends. But while the world speculated, Xiao Zhan himself remained silent. That silence only deepened the mystery. Behind closed doors, however, the scenes were even more intense. Imagine Xiao Zhan standing in a quiet dressing room, the hum of distant voices fading as he stared at his reflection in the mirror. His expression unreadable, yet his eyes heavy with decisions. Papers on the table, contracts unsigned, scripts half-read, messages unanswered. It was as if he had already made up his mind long before the world caught wind of it. And then came the moment that fans would later describe as the heartbreak of the year. A stage had been prepared for a major appearance. Cameras lined up. Journalists gathered. The world was ready to hear from him. But as the lights dimmed and the music swelled, Xiao Zhan never appeared. Instead, a manager stepped forward with a carefully crafted statement. The room froze. Gasps filled the air. Xiao Zhan had left, effective immediately. No reasons, no explanations, just a silence that echoed louder than any words. For those who adored him, the pain felt personal. Social media flooded with videos of fans crying, their voices trembling as they begged him to return. Messages poured in by the millions, desperate for answers. Some clung to hope, convinced he would make a surprise comeback. Others felt betrayed, left with nothing but questions and shattered dreams. Yet, there was something undeniably powerful in his departure. Xiao Zhan wasn't just walking away. He was making a statement, a bold one. In an industry where every move is scrutinized, leaving without explanation was an act of rebellion, a mystery that demanded to be unraveled. Behind the scenes, insiders spoke of tension. Projects delayed, disagreements brewing, pressure mounting. Xiao Zhan, known for his dedication and perfectionism, had carried the weight of expectations for years. And while fans only saw the flawless smile, those closest to him knew the battles he fought silently. The late nights, the exhaustion, the sacrifices. Could it be that he had finally reached his breaking point? Then came the dramatic twist that fueled even more speculation. A single photograph surfaced online. It showed Xiao Zhan walking alone, a cap pulled low over his face, a suitcase in his hand. The caption read simply, "He walked away without looking back." That image became iconic overnight. It was replayed in videos, reposted across platforms, and dissected frame by fans desperate for clues. Where was he going? Why did he leave? And most importantly, would he ever return? As the days passed, the mystery only deepened. Some claimed he had retreated to a quiet countryside, far from the blinding lights of fame. Others whispered he had gone abroad, seeking freedom from the chains of expectations. A few insisted he had left for someone special, a person who mattered more than the spotlight ever could. Every theory added fuel to the fire, and every unanswered question made the world crave the truth even more. But perhaps the most haunting scene of all was the silence of his closest circle. His team, his co-stars, even those rumored to be his dearest friends, None of them spoke. No confirmations. No denials. Just a quiet void where words should have been. It was as if they, too, had been left behind, unsure of how to move forward without him. The absence of Xiao Zhan created a ripple effect. Shows struggled to replace him. Brands that once relied on his image scrambled for alternatives. Even rival stars, usually eager to step into the spotlight, seemed reluctant to benefit from his departure. It wasn't just that Xiao Zhan had left. It was that he had left a void so deep, no one dared to fill it. And yet, amidst the chaos, there was beauty. Fans began to unite, sharing stories of how Xiao Zhan had touched their lives. They organized vigils, holding candles as they sang his songs under the night sky. They wrote letters, thousands of them, addressed to a man who might never read them. They painted murals, created artworks, and built a movement not of anger, but of love. His departure, instead of ending his legacy, had only magnified it. Imagine the scene of a young fan standing at the edge of a crowded street, holding a handwritten sign that read, "We'll wait for you, no matter how long it takes." Her eyes filled with tears, yet her voice steady as she joined the chorus of others chanting his name. That was the power of Xiao Zhan. Even in absence, he remained unforgettable. Of course, the speculation refused to die down. Some whispered of a grand comeback, a surprise appearance that would shock the world. Others believed he would never return, that his departure was final. And while no one could predict the future, one thing was clear. Xiao Zhan's story was far from over. His decision to leave wasn't the end. It was the beginning of a new chapter, one that had yet to be written. In the quiet of his absence, the world had been reminded of something crucial. Fame may dazzle, but it is fleeting. Stardom may shine, but it comes at a cost. And sometimes, walking away isn't a sign of weakness, but of strength. Xiao Zhan's departure wasn't just about leaving. It was about reclaiming his own story. As the days turn into weeks, and weeks into months, fans continue to hold on. They wait for news, for a sign, for a single word from him. They replay his past works, reliving the moments that made them fall in love with his artistry. They cling to hope, believing that one day, Xiao Zhan will return, not because the industry demands it, but because he chooses it. And so, the story of Xiao Zhan leaving becomes more than just an event. It becomes a legend, a tale of mystery, heartbreak, and resilience. A reminder that sometimes the most powerful move isn't stepping onto the stage, it's walking away from it. The world may not know where Xiao Zhan is right now, or what his next step will be. But one thing is certain: his name, his presence, his legacy will never be forgotten. Because when Xiao Zhan left, he didn't just leave behind projects or contracts. He left behind a story that continues to live in the hearts of millions. And that story is far from over. So, what do you think? Was Xiao Zhan's departure a retreat, a rebellion, or the beginning of something far greater than we can imagine? Whatever the truth may be, one thing is undeniable. Xiao Zhan knows how to leave the world breathless, even in silence. When Xiao Zhan left, the world felt it. The silence that followed his departure wasn't ordinary. It was deafening, haunting, and unforgettable. Fans weren't just shocked. They were shaken to their core. But what came after his exit was a whirlwind of moments so intense, so surreal, that they could only be described as cinematic. The first major scene unfolded at the airport. Fans had swarmed every terminal, desperate to catch a glimpse of him. The air buzzed with tension as people pressed against barricades, their eyes scanning every passenger that walked through. Suddenly, a hush fell over the crowd. A figure appeared, cap pulled low, mask covering most of his face. The suitcase in his hand gave him away instantly. Gasps echoed. Phones shot into the air. Someone screamed, "It's him." But Xiao Zhan didn't stop. He didn't wave. He didn't look back. He walked straight through the sea of flashing cameras, his steps steady, his expression unreadable. Security guards moved around him, but even they couldn't shield him from the cries that rose behind. "Don't go, Xiao Zhan. Please stay." The sound was heart-wrenching, but he never slowed. That moment, him disappearing through the gate, burned itself into memory, a scene fans replayed in their minds endlessly. Meanwhile, social media became a battlefield of emotions. Videos of that airport walk went viral within minutes. Hashtags like #Xiao Zhan left, #Where is Xiao Zhan, and #Please come back Xiao Zhan trended globally. Millions of comments poured in. I feel like I've lost someone close to me. Why would he leave without telling us why? Maybe he's protecting himself. Maybe this is bigger than we know. The speculation only grew wilder when a second scene hit the headlines. A leaked clip surfaced, grainy, shaky footage taken from what appeared to be inside a studio. In the video, Xiao Zhan could be seen standing in front of a long table stacked with scripts. His manager was nearby, trying to reason with him. But Xiao Zhan shook his head, firm and unyielding. At one point, he placed the script down, pushed it slightly away, and whispered something that sent chills down spines. I can't do this anymore. Those 6 words were replayed across every platform. Fans dissected the tone, the expression, the weight behind them. Some said it was exhaustion. Others said heartbreak. But everyone agreed. This wasn't just about work. This was personal. Then came another unforgettable moment. A mural appeared overnight in his hometown. It showed Xiao Zhan with wings spread wide, as if taking flight. Beneath it, in bold red letters, were the words, "Wherever you go, we will follow." The image spread like wildfire, a powerful reminder of the loyalty he inspired. People traveled from across the country just to stand in front of that wall, to take pictures, to light candles. The mural became a shrine, a symbol of hope in a time of despair. But perhaps the most dramatic scene of all came during a fan-organized vigil in Beijing. Hundreds gathered under the night sky, candles in hand, singing one of his most beloved songs. Their voices rose in harmony, trembling with emotion. Then, out of nowhere, rain began to fall, soft at first, then heavy, drenching everyone. Yet no one moved. They stood in the rain, their candles still burning, their voices still singing. The sight was breathtaking, a sea of devotion, shining against the storm. Clips of the vigil broke the internet, leaving viewers around the world in tears. And while the fans mourned, the industry trembled. Directors spoke of halted projects. Brands whispered about losses. Fellow actors posted cryptic messages, some hinting at support, others revealing their own sadness. One in particular stood out, a post with no caption, just a single photo of a chair sitting empty under a spotlight. Everyone knew what it meant. The seat Xiao Zhan left behind would never truly be filled. Still, his absence didn't silence him completely. A week later, a mysterious message appeared on a fan forum. It wasn't verified, but people were convinced it came from him. The words were simple. Sometimes, to find yourself, you must first lose everything else. The post exploded. People analyzed it line by line, finding hidden meanings, searching for clues. Was he promising a return, or was he saying goodbye forever? And that's the beauty of Xiao Zhan's story. It didn't end with him leaving. It grew bigger. His silence became louder than any statement. His absence became presence. His departure became legend. Picture it now. Xiao Zhan walking alone through an unfamiliar city, the neon lights casting shadows on the wet streets. He pulls his hood tighter, blending into the crowd, unnoticed. Yet somewhere, halfway across the world, a fan is crying, smiling, or whispering his name. That's the kind of connection he has created. Even when gone, he is everywhere. Every rumor that surfaces adds another layer to the mystery. Some claim he's working on something secretly, something massive, something that will change everything when he returns. Others believe he's retreating to live a normal life, away from the suffocating pressures of fame. Both theories feel possible. Both feel like something Xiao Zhan would do. But no matter what the truth is, one thing is undeniable. His decision to leave shook the world in a way no scripted drama ever could. It was raw. It was real. It was unforgettable. And perhaps that's the real lesson here. That sometimes, leaving isn't about ending. It's about beginning. Sometimes, silence is the loudest song. And sometimes, walking away is the bravest move of all. So as fans continue to wait, one thought lingers in the air. Wherever Xiao Zhan is, whatever he's doing, he's writing a new chapter, one that we are all desperate to read. Because Xiao Zhan didn't just leave. He left behind a legacy, a mystery, and a promise hidden between the silence. If you enjoyed this continuation of the story about Xiao Zhan's departure, don't forget to like this video, share it with other fans, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to this channel for more dramatic stories, mysteries, and emotional journeys from the entertainment world. The story isn't over, and you won't want to miss what comes next.